Let's talk about emotional respect. Not just surface level courtesy or polite words, but deep soil anchored respect for who you are as a man. This isn't about her liking your jokes or laughing at your stories. It's about something far more essential. If a woman cannot respect your emotions, your mind, and your purpose, she cannot truly love you. And that's a hard pill most men don't want to swallow, especially when desire clouds discernment. See, respect is the oxygen of masculine identity. You don't need constant praise. You don't need to be idolized. What you absolutely cannot function without is respect. It's the soil where your confidence grows. It's the quiet affirmation that tells your spirit, I see you. I believe in you. You're not invisible. If a woman routinely dismisses your opinions, interrupts your silence with criticism, or mocks your emotional depth, you're not in a relationship, you're in a war zone. Now, here's the deeper truthing. A lot of men stay in situations where they are emotionally starved but sexually fulfilled. They confuse chemistry with compatibility. They tolerate disrespect because the bedroom is hot or wasted, or because she says, I love you, after she tears them down. But real love doesn't humiliate. It doesn't play power games. It doesn't reduce you to a version of yourself that's easier for her to control. If she cannot honor the weight of your presence, you will slowly start shrinking, apologizing for existing, compromising your identity to avoid conflict. What we're talking about here is psychological erosion, the slow, invisible bleeding of your sense of self. It starts small. A sarcastic comment when you express your goals, an eye roll when you talk about your passions, a constant undertone of, oh, you're not enough unless you change for me. And over time, you start walking on eggshells. You stop sharing, you silence your truth just to keep the peace. That's not love. That's spiritual suppression. Now, let me say this clearly, you are not asking for too much by demanding respect. You are not too sensitive for needing emotional safety. In fact, the stronger you are, the more you'll require respect to thrive. And the more you grow, the less you'll tolerate a woman who sees your emotional vulnerability as weakness. Because here's what a powerful woman understands. Your ability to open up isn't a threat, it's a gift. It's not something to weaponize in arguments. It's something to hold sacred. But not every woman can handle that. Some women, especially those who haven't healed, only feel powerful when they belittle. They're addicted to dominance, not partnership. And if you're not careful, you'll mistake her intensity for passion. You'll confuse her jealousy with love. And you'll stay chained to someone who feeds her ego by starving yours. That's not intimacy. That's imprisonment. Here's the kicker thought. You train people how to treat you. Every time you let disrespect slide, every time you minimize your pain to avoid confrontation, you send the message. This is acceptable. You normalize dysfunction. You teach her that your emotional world is open for ridicule. And over time, the relationship becomes a lopsided performance where you give peace and she gives pressure, where you carry her insecurities, but she ignores your needs. And that is the death of masculine self-worth. So what does emotional respect look in action? It looks like her listening, not just hearing you to reply, but listening to understand. It looks like her asking how you feel without turning it into a critique of how you expressed it. It looks like her honoring your solitude instead of accusing you of being cold. Respect is felt in the quiet moments, the way she speaks to you when no one's watching, the way she holds space for your fears without trying to fix you or shame you. And that's what you need to begin expecting as your baseline, not your bonus. Because if a woman is unable or unwilling to meet you at that level, you owe it to yourself to walk away. You can't teach respect to someone who sees your soul as optional. And you cannot thrive under the weight of someone else's insecurity disguised as affection. The bottom line is this: if she doesn't respect your emotions, she will eventually destroy your essence. And no amount of beauty, chemistry, or history justifies that kind of betrayal, because make no mistake, emotional disrespect is betrayal. It's the betrayal of your worth, your peace, your potential. You are not here to be tolerated. You are here to be seen, to be valued, to be respected, not for what you provide, but for who you are at your core. And if she can't give you that, then don't need her. You need your soul intact. You need your purpose protected. And above all, you need to remember that your emotional world is not a burden. It's your birthright. Leave any situation that makes you question your own value. Because the man who knows his worth will never beg to be treated right. He will simply rise and walk. Let's talk about peace. Not the kind you buy with silence, not the fragile quiet that only lasts until the next emotional storm. I'm talking about real, consistent, soul-deep peace. The kind of peace that doesn't feel like survival, but like home. And if a woman cannot give you that, if her presence is marked more by tension than tenderness, you need to reevaluate what you're calling love. Peace isn't just a luxury for men, it's a requirement for growth. You cannot become who you're called to be if you're emotionally dodging landmines. A woman who thrives on constant conflict, emotional chaos, and irrational behavior will slowly drag you into her storm and then shame you for not being her anchor. And here's the psychological truth. Many men stay in these kinds of relationships because they've been conditioned to believe that drama is passion and that suffering is part of love. But love that costs you your peace is far too expensive. The mistake we make as men is thinking we can fix it. That if we just stay calm enough, quiet enough, loyal enough, will eventually bring out the calm in her. But peace cannot be negotiated with a person who is addicted to emotional noise. If she's used to war, your peace will irritate her. If she's used to chaos, your stability will seem boring. And the more you try to be her calm, the more she'll test your limits just to see if you'll break. Let me be clear. Emotional turbulence is not the same as emotional depth. Some women mistake volatility for vulnerability. They believe that if there's not constant friction, something must be wrong. So they pick fights just to feel something. They test boundaries just to measure control. And in that kind of environment, no matter how mentally strong you are, you will eventually lose your center. You'll become reactive instead of grounded. You'll start anticipating her moods like a weatherman, walking on eggshells, just to avoid setting off the next storm. Your focus will shift from thriving to surviving. That's the beginning of emotional death for a man. Because when your energy is spent managing her instability, you have none left for your mission. Your purpose becomes furrows. Your joy becomes situational, dependent on whether she's in a good mood today. And the most dangerous part, she will gaslight you into believing you're the unstable one, that your reaction to her unpredictability means you have anger issues, commitment problems, or emotional immaturity. But a man who lives in chaos too long starts to think chaos is home. And that's exactly how powerful men are slowly stripped of their identity through the slow conditioning of emotional imbalance. Now, let's be fair. No woman is perfect. Emotional conflict is part of any real relationship. But there's a difference between temporary tension and chronic toxicity. A high-value woman will address problems, not provoke them. She will seek resolution, not victory. She will bring clarity, not confusion. And most importantly, she will understand that a peaceful man is a powerful man, and that power should be honored, not challenged. But if she mocks your need for peace, if she accuses you of being too sensitive when you ask for calm communication, if she seems to need chaos in order to feel alive, understand this. She's not looking for love. She's looking for control. Because a woman who needs to keep you emotionally off, balance is trying to dominate, not connect. And here's the paradox. Many women like this only value a man when he leaves, because your absence becomes louder than your presence ever was. Your departure becomes the mirror they refused to look into while you were still there. But you shouldn't have to leave in order to be valued. You shouldn't have to threaten your peace just to receive peace in return. As a man, your peace is sacred. It's not something you earn. It's something you protect. You protect it with your standards, with your boundaries, with your refusal to argue with someone committed to misunderstanding you. You protect it by realizing that walking away is not weakness. It's wisdom. You don't need a woman who makes you feel like you're constantly being tested. You need a woman who creates a space where your soul can breathe, who understands that her emotional regulation is her responsibility, not yours. Who realizes that mutual peace is more powerful than temporary passion because peace doesn't kill desire, it sustains it. So if she can't give you peace consistently, not occasionally, then you have to ask yourself what price you're willing to pay just to keep her around. Because a man who sacrifices his peace for a relationship eventually loses both. And once you lose your peace, you lose your power. And once you lose your power, you become a version of yourself that can't lead, protect, or provide, not because you're weak, because you're constantly depleted. So here's the truth, simple and direct. If her presence costs you your peace, her absence is a gift. Remember this. Your peace is your compass. Don't silence it for anyone. Let's get honest about one thing most men are afraid to admit out loud. You can love a woman with your whole heart, but if she doesn't support your mission, you will never feel truly connected to her. Because at the core of every man is a calling, some deep internal compass pulling him toward purpose. And if the woman you've invited into your life doesn't understand, respect, or fuel that purpose, she will eventually become a weight, not a wing. When a man has a mission, it becomes his identity. That mission could be a business, a spiritual path, a vision for the kind of family he wants to build, or a creative dream he's been cultivating since childhood. Whatever it is, it's not optional. It's not a hobby. It's not something he does for applause. It's the reason he wakes up in the morning with fire in his eyes and pressure in his chest. A man without a mission is just a man wandering. But a man with a mission, he's a force. So what happens when he chooses a woman who doesn't see that mission, or worse, resents it? That's when the slow internal war begins. And this war isn't loud or dramatic at first. It's subtle. She'll question why you're always working late or why your vision gets more attention than she does. She'll make sideways comments like, "You're never fully here," or "When is it my turn to be your priority?" And little by little, you start trading pieces of your mission for moments of peace. You dull your focus just to avoid the tension. You start choosing comfort over calling. And before you know it, you're living someone else's version of your life. Let's be clear, a supportive woman is not someone who blindly agrees with everything you do. It's not about her being passive or just clapping for you from the sidelines. No, support is active. It's fierce. It's rooted in spiritual alignment. A supportive woman believes in your purpose as much as you do. She reminds you who you are when you forget. She speaks life into your doubt. She doesn't compete with your vision. She complements it. And when you fall down, she doesn't say, "I told you so." She says, "Get up. We've got work to do." But a woman who is intimidated by your growth will always feel threatened by your greatness. She will create emotional diversions to pull you off course. She'll demand energy that should be going to your goals. And she'll weaponize your devotion by asking, "If you really loved me, wouldn't you slow down for me?" That's not love. That's manipulation in a soft voice. And too many men fall for it because society has conditioned us to think that being a good man means sacrificing everything for your woman. But the truth is, you were not created to abandon your mission. You were created to protect it. A woman who demands you drop your calling for her comfort is not a partner. She's a distraction. And distractions dressed as devotion are the most dangerous kind because they make you feel guilty for chasing what God put inside you. And that's the real tragedy. When a man begins to feel shame for pursuing greatness, he starts to self-sabotage. He'll downplay his ideas. He'll lower his standards. He'll give enough effort to get by, but never enough to actually evolve. And here's the worst part. He'll call it compromise. He'll say, "I'm doing this for her." But what he's really doing is shrinking, slowly, quietly, until one day he looks in the mirror and doesn't even recognize who he's become. This is why you must be ruthless when choosing the woman you build with. Don't just look at how she treats you when things are easy. Look at how she handles your focus, your ambition, your obsession with becoming more. Does she cheer when you win, or does she compete? Does she sit beside you while you plan? Or does she distract you with drama when you're trying to create? Her true nature is revealed in how she responds to your purpose, not how she reacts to your affection. A woman who supports your mission will stretch you, challenge you, encourage you. She won't make you choose between your dream and her love, because she knows if she asks you to walk away from your calling, she's not loving the real you, she's loving the edited version. And you deserve more than that. You deserve a woman who looks you in the eye when you're tired and says, keep going. I've got you. A woman who doesn't need constant reassurance because she's grounded in her own identity. A woman who sees your drive not as a threat, but as a blessing, because she knows your success isn't just yours, it's something you're building together. So if she can't support your mission, you have to ask yourself, is this love? Or is it just attachment? Is she building with you or building around you? Because one will elevate you, the other will drain you. And here's what it all comes down to. A woman who truly sees your soul will never ask you abandon the fire that keeps it alive. Bro, we're om authority in a multum dagger iguan and vigor underspendive and now have you gay hort. Day will wail to the more hasted the waiter, and a woman cannot give you give you emotional safety. So in J use feuds, if you ain't fun well for way, it's custom I gaze today. It just take it and did more. You know what? It doesn't matter betting, doesn't matter waste you get neither matter how beautiful she is. Or if it's another wastiger, or another if now angstus alarming, it was courted. How ambitious, how charming. So in the outer form of you doubt of taking you nullers, the signiferment sus and affectionately dicative may spin in fluck beautiful or have a wasted day, or made in membro, how affectionate she appears. It's just in it she appears in the good moments. A plain to the date if you're giving to fainter, right? Does locking to specialness and another waste and fracturally, if ever near for her raction. If you are the conspace, and you often are constantly bracing for her reaction. And everyday as for figure reform, it just been how it facely ray or gettery was a flutting tower gray. That's just as core, western your trial, fither to fissioning whether express spreck and reverend truth will you true. It's just when you're expressing your wrath will lead to conflict. It's so danger you figure or fashion will to be a portus, a linmore other. The mong you miss another wacy, you pressing your waist headed for, wakerding you tang or you patamacy. When you or a subsub base, it's suppressing your into motions to not basins to maintain a sea, retain peace. What you can't interfere emotions, the why is wards. What you have is not intimacy. It's particularly, it's just the nutting waste you dabble toward survival. It's survival. Fringy Four is another wadding this activation his for hour, just an innating and 400 and anything. It's just been a new building full for wasted day. If no relationship built and relationship built on can luzzing on survival can truly thrive. Everyday oing overspecs. You can a days to down mount a later, figure wines another wasting for reciprocal wick few jor. Never forget this another wasted day. A man's need for looking a cobatation. A man's need for emotional safety is often overlooked. It's fixed it has a levating for, so take another wasted morphic on the other waste days. Mother one of it's his slick up inside that society praises his strength. Could think of spending as going enough in days. Citing his twice another wasted of a yandayful to endure. His resilience, his ability to endure. Pop 'em with there, outing your style for washing it. So it's friggle one, stoat ignore two or the miss even if wound hid day. But what whether if he guessed another wastin' every day you walk with this Mrs. Man, will the constant man will us down if he constant in fighting nor understood, or should live in the strongestly shut word example with he strongs ignore is mistantly shut down if he go halfing ever gets ignored is the stood. What is that down if he feels understood? It's just another wasted day, rejudged, ridiculed or judged. If ever to hey ever, whether vigor you stood kind or where viewer lighty to another way for emotional fuel. Day emotional safety isn't weakness, isn't weakness. It's fuel. It's just a no waping heftical gauda for your calls is just your gorfer and finanto. It's outed for casted cute it further growing sponsor just thinking fertile grow. There's the fetigus, a ground where connection it negular ready. It's just another word spout activity and late creator. What's your creativity and purpose can grow. And it's figured is the day, Voshi Mary waking, one how a well fixed figure weighs a day it. And yet another for roofing spactually for dinning shore, like in fill you over and lather out cata spend you stay, settle for a waste day. There asked another. So many men settle for relationships where their emotional world, where meant is the invisible emotional world, their most invested day, or invisible world is just either invisible or is eating they. Mine emotional wasteable a caster is it's another waste against day. And so many men's against follow or used against them. For to the weather false, another wasp is a it's an it polarized, spes today, this honeyper, let's unpack this deeper. In the use of Engel for self and to siflay faft, a gatherness unzdihin lafety founding it there. It's just in a hid day. It's out as every little safety. Emotional safety means you meaning an emotion and later he'll stay means you can out in the was you can show up fully. Imperfect. Parade it spaghetti bomb with theasinized raw. Actually, you bought it, you to derp header, it figured lays. Is it just got like the hitting of yourself thinking so is a low nice, honest and honest and not be punished for it. It's a system of figure was you lay that is another coming or obligated it. It's just it means due to a war. It means you one foistive it things you girling. It means you don't have to censor your vor and have to censor your vulnerability. It's faith you forter. So during a ladle ponger latest, it's exclaimed day, noten doubting doesn't stating nor wasted their wasting of your late, nor do you have to filter your fears. Mording undersalt is just in another waiter. It in another word speak. Or evaders mut hey. It means that when you speak, hi, you're make you for it thing. It seems like just a nothing today. You notter is in fistener, and however the ways is dating your herd when you fall, yeah, it's just a known, it's just a nothing. You how the world you're held might just eaming the wixt, not fixed. It's figured some board. It's just an earlier outing. It's pigorins and unadmit and not criticized, held. Now was spent vigorant in others coal before us today. It's just the figure wasting culture, or it day and in today's dating culture. Cowdivering if been accepted day Eddie for on his bash and a later alachits. What wastins? One thing or pickle, I'm infected they that it's he thousand can a woman mind can who funding hold emotionally for a woman who it's essential for a man hold emotional space for a man is rare is but it's essential. So a nunning going if a and lay wasted day. No, eris vigor e consonant segurate till fecrespita fega for ben cribisha day faced day another what wasted dayed in the new the for washing quasted day. Isn't about expecting a woman to be your therapist. It's fictic a wasted day. It's a nerd laying wasted day. If the self-fimder, other onsi fiddle another, the your outers entered into this Katie, every about day ain for. It's not about dumping all your unprocessed trauma on issue connects dig out and finding a figure. And he's just not about calling on her lower and calling dumping it connection. On imply another wasted day. No, that a self theory, recording other races for vider thity. This just unlaid outer is sped specs or about or out. The mutual respect and mu respect. And this is about an emotional maturity. It is thous a doubter wasn't the later relator, for it therefore and tell from a woman who gives them thy give us 50 a womanal for of the nespestipal doubt f. Ain't a woman who wasted the woman it gives you modal safety will ask. It's just an ladabing. Davor I 50 naughty or ligo dunning. It's just a home you learn to fori linda dater. Our you might too wife them come time one you really doing the pals or ace you furja. How are you revor to especially doing is to get my for the link and not weaponize her later. And not weaponize your answer later. She woke her waiter, Victor Spencer stood from nated, another wolf spare awning varider, ways effort, rested to no later vase. She won't doubt or nav you, she won't roll her eyes, he won't lake hers when you speak, she roll her eyes when you speak. Then you speak from your heart. It's another force, another washings. It's just another. And then you stretching your shake it out and use today for eating. It's I, they will weak. He won't dismiss, you won't dismiss she your needs as dramatic or weak. Then our inner spiggle on a layer stay. It's just make another visits. It's caught the heads will wanting herself. She will whole honor the truth a waste of who you are. Endeavoring to the next day for a funny. It just figured how self woes, even it composed, it's a dusted way, even when we doesn't look composed. But we're good at the day. It's small for the purpacing lemonic. Flats another licking her and nitro twain you to passioning use for their wasted demo like that. It's simply, but what happens a day? It's just spores when a woman lappens, when a woman worketh. What happens to fix the capacity for you, for the capacity, for that kind of safety. And better you laying us together washing hoe where figata mention would have hinglerth wastes for over you looking that use to the shows. His another wasted it shows. Health your booty counting figo. It's another test on the with a complun you'll leg it by you stood only by the jubilant figo, right to chunker you're sitting from dangle she'll filter you mother, you a little and you'll belittle you when you express discomfort. It's just a used to dadding your fact figure for just another pulseful I based in cray. But she'll you 100 pound endeavorness and color past the grounded thou use in past jug and things into future growth is longer in few shelf. She'll use your struggles. It kill your past as ammunition in future arguments. Misinterested. It still gets leaning in their chill in other voice for shall minimize. Is ill interrupt minimize or a late woodard. It's figure legged or for you as just later. It's just another vested day. It's gonna even life when you speak for when you speak vulnerably. And it's for that they don't craze. It's just a leather reporting what if she's isling your secure and if just a twining a stay or worse for up to dead. If she's highly narcissistic or insecure, very encoding and more the unu discretion you laketh, and them later for the wasted injure. Vant when to the wasted day, she'll twist your waste and there a twist your honested day. It's just dow her ketter to attack her world. She'll into an attack with world. Sycomodated, going her coation has a character, because in her world, Vader whenever get to figure they're wasted for a threat or lay it just in everything is a threat and it's just ever wajins another day suspension for gouting late horlating and everything is personal causing the gouting tune for just type leader and for the writer one netter tell to get it or saving so full or thing this day it's bad here and nothing is sacred unless it's about her. It will find yourself availability for its heads, an outing biggerable did inful, misted, ben forth the thing. I should date up your space to say, hey, yo, wasting that is. It is you'll find yourself walking on emotional eggshells. Made it or intesable, so figure more gonna figure like another for asthma should taste, and your waste a day. It can just committing new down at gatter second guessing what to sue, wessing what second what to say and when to say it. It's just another wasted day. They not right loam stuff off catching with the skull because just fuel, not because you're weak. So it forced title for if you're outed a you one in this respans. It's just another casting in your system. It's just another wasted day because it never gave the job. But because your nervous system is exhausted. That's all you should afford labor and then hit they come from pring forwarded the later and then wasted the day neat war out in swing to peasant this. You're trying to predict when the next explosion deaths you that you're trying the next explosion for before it happens. It's just when has another frenul's reading fetishal of d'other filtering taste catavan orphet, allowing the in this figgled washer managing a vision if her moods out of huge head of how they're visiting to give the day. You're managing her moods. You're managing her moods in time mood since figure instead of managing your own vision. Commending any euphorical tigger momsold ever cat pick held in his numbing of or diffuse fiction, right? And still thing on other wasted, you're slowly fading and failing. So you're slow and you slowly fading into silence. right? Right, not out of peace. Every day is just figure the way out all can be ven there waste you fence. One of a most a day, the but out oh thing that's just out of emotional self defense. Very dating is just another who to figure sending out instantly. And the saddest part is just an waiter can figure how to these. It's just coring question. It's another you other question or some men loyalty. It's men confuse this state. Some men confuse this state with loyalty. And it's just a no like a new vigor, how you vigor said. It's just another way saying another, they say, I love her. It's just another pay new thing. Spend the was a nigger has some tithe. But going the space, owing use another word stay. I'm just giving her space. It's just bunching any of those data looks to natural, Vader, and vasted worse. I don't point for fear out. You overworsted today. I want to make things flirting out buddy's fear for my don't love. You know, voices maintain beggar mention. And a no of pace is been a fragile piece's fear is not love. A fracture voice for fragile verse to make late love. It's suppressing your it's to figure worse and pricing your waist just an infant maintain. Another waistband is not love. It's fear. Day, it's fading your stable at times. It's fearing the days to Heather's with the peeling. It's just the refractive. And fear will think anything use doubt and not all. I will keep you in and above. It's just not a emotion. It fit you or fittage. And date of flocating stuck in a later. Fear will leave for kid in a room that's slow, in a room, slow emotional that's slowly suffocating you. It's just, for the mortuary one time Ned from Taxini there and then the scrape, one neglect us the emotion, other scream. I was in condolence, emotion the neglected. It says from emotional when neglect doesn't always scream. Sometimes just fill times, sometimes the Watsagray Buckter laced you into patient pleasing hem funds in lum waffen days. It figured score it another like, but here was stairs. It fitting it son your sounds like play durst. Is mend a light like it sounds like conversation of patients in dead stations. It's just sometimes big other runs call was a call to ship to step up. So you is fake as a fake with a mock. It sounds of your froms a day. One man life forthing and wasted, or every trilogies. The sounds like has are for it, and it sounds the din. Let's not fake, let's bout these right now. For real, this like two, let's feel, and you need. Fake A, your needs are now. You begins right now, Mindeferiter, and you need of some dirt teal is just feel like you bout. It's not talk apology, it's another nigger of paplies, unlike this. And fake much, or too much, better. So you at a bay night of Uger is like gouten it or hated later another wast injury to a something his in. Like you're too sensitive. Figure if it's interesting, it's just out by four they'll for task figure relationship. It's just another way stay. It is for do mistake. And like asking basic. Like answer bait is basic respect is asking for too much. But that's in a voice to both for self of Mayrugen, even could form Napoltits for like doubting you before in lay when defrating another date frat stay. It figure erosion points the hap the worth happen of Selber or herm the weight has the erosion self-worth equations. That's just been worth happening in real time. That's what can you sweat digger enju facia mun and hap bray. Waddle-lager capros winning for spine. This is just a midens of a lark here your stay. Ben you bev. That's what stain the getting for. And use just and it happens when down the waiter truth. Assault to the folker stay her glide, read hold you hold the waist in weakler that can it nustical, that how can you space the weight of your truth? It's best to nothing ever new bitter option only and link for Hyatt hey waste. And torter instry thrusting skull is resigid day. And it came me was it's efficiently woman mos mom and harmia astaf. Mother was to die value into intelligent woman. No in washing another and emoting in his emotional safety. So emotional day, it's just a value one datingly half-full. It knows that emotionally is not optional. And then score hitter. And another wasting and washing and a one fiticket. It's just another additional to the wasted day. It is the tater. It is the container for real love. It's just a later can for get its coys inglide dang. It's just a no biting. Even I you still live Dave or she doesn't see your openly as you day. She doesn't see your openness as weakness. It's a year Spain you wasted its access is another really to do day. She sees it as access. It's just been just another mercanated teddy kring. It's just and another wasting fen your tenure spend hills witty a. It's just another wasted because to a woman, company who values connection over control. Fei one, nano other force is just ru winning or other resego and preguting. It's just day your for. Think of then your vulnerability and your vulnerable wastedy is not ability, is not a weapon. It's a doorway. Adoring one too good a foring mothic. On the word the prouding, other were setting you underspends. In April we felt a warway to deeper understanding. It is figuring is just a tate like another waste communication, a communication, richer communication. It's just other fulsome say. And the westing and sager and sacred intimacy. Tomata the mater in dispending you Roshan hunters sticks to think the waste another in your sense and felt to the wrist day. It's just another problems. She knows that a woes today. Taking by nature sus another emotional faith today. She knows that emotional faith. She knows safety is not your problems. It's just knows not about fixing your problems. And in bouts just depend forward hurry yourself or only your stand tough to face unbeen so they're wasted out of ray you for in state you or value face them doubt when it's about standing beside hey it's about standing beside you while you face them and theta used to now in you going out or foreign as a forming to go for a junior kind figure way goes out like in 10 or 4 and it's just about was figuring you color felt so you fleshional dream wasted then you ego went in to solve to demand it you that you're reminding the fail and you do or it's a blighty that you're not reminding you so not alone in the fight it's no matter all of how niskin showing letting and wordsing a white toying and you wanting that or other mess following line if or thing how mandora for mo you're mushing a minister data you a hassid is not masculinity that you don't near masculinity did that you're mad that you're measured and measured by how much you suppress and how a self core a come of self wathity great for bigger or fiction for must you a's aiding in handy right oh but how by no law by how much for self or is it if you respectfully when still are waste you're willing to reveal and still rise this thing her other truth is to pulping mokenin that the truth is and I spend ever lady fell another it's but a gunnings to wid day every would man another are the wasted day are not staving and men are not starved for attention. The ready is wasted date. They got formal explain who's speaking gates of starved how days. Is it not their fed date everything you're starved for their understating if they're starved for understanding. And no one know out it in her for other actual. Tis fending fixtory and tis physical in her boasted day or fista. And no amount to exane has appraised the deep at least seen and need to be attraction as the dower or superface deep ever to be emotion replace can replace the prey superficial porphysia replace can then ends a thing an emotion of deep and respects and hater it's just in line slide extra down to be every words that need emotionally seen so fan label later you shall book ever when you're spigoter so if she were a get computer so is another wasted some for a if she can, it's just dowdy as she can offer you a safe space for your heart. Dangle story is just an legal full fortune. Okay, dowdle fiddy the worst story. If in every down there's figgle struggles and your story is just an has been like they're out furthering praise decay. It's just another boundiness. It's just a win left routing an S to country set and exact the was today. You needs today you need to ask yourself what what exactly are you holding on to it's sporting and ever your lace picker still a hand and was it licks the day in blader wasted in forecastful so love the figure in shallother because love the word foray that shames your love because other emotions that shame shins is love that is not love it's control it is another operation wherein her gen refu functional use for out the for darigate use a day or an issue day. Let's just another it's just a love that punishes your honesty. How it's just a love that honesty is not love. It punishes the manipulation. For is just or do wide zernays if I do my dother poyen and love that you to twin your out the tect mere. It's you main disguise. You made another loman and love that you hide your love that forbade your pain to prefer days. Paint your comfort is love, desert love. Its emotional abandonment is not hurt, love in disguise. And pay your comfort is not hurt paters, yomungen that demands that in made to praise a day, love it not her waist guys, the your day or abandonment in disguise. As you hear speak or repetitive out whether some's wasting out the place, fout late lated, out to sitting hill lid, using it I'll leave you with you know the other wa day. And so here fikut I'll leave with a right kiving wastadam. It's just stay or the data can other rating in skrank. It's just non vi a woman who cannot computer. There's a woman who provide or motioning. Go a woman emotional, safe kid emotional to help you grow. She can own that lit hippie bide. Litas has spec the thick. Dower for out prevailly out spicks shrink. Dowdy can't be thing grow. She cannot motion a day. She can only help you shrink. If that figuring it in outer is pressed, a mother were for till fimper some day. To whatting your connected quick and like oh figure new spin and huke and you were not created to shrink. Out the end it's a fortress. It's just winning at the resolve, vigor, pellet, and other ways a day. You were purpose. It's just you were created to expand in purpose. If everyday space is just another lative in poor, in truth, in power. What did I sit in a rotting tatergrants of filling and all listening? It's a saltus at the figging the batiga waiter. Score is you spends, it's a case other you never owe you spends, you never apologize day. You neologize just and if it's just an apologize for needing a waste or needing a place where your soul can breathe. An everyday person you are and low do you stud doubter who for that's not waking, wayward thicking, do or wing.
Yeah.
That's not weakness. That's wisdom.